What's up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob back with another edition of Random Ramblings with Rob. Today is going to be a relatively short episode. Reason being, my motherfucking guest canceled on me. Well, he actually didn't cancel on me. It's a 9-hour time difference from where I am to where he is. Right now, he is currently stationed in Bahrain. Yeah, Bahrain. Like what the Beach Boys and shit sing about. So, time was a little bit of a challenge for that one. So, we'll catch up with him another time and we'll make a podcast out of it. So, today, you get to sit and hear me do the random ramblings and randoms and stuff. It's a Sunday, so you know what that means. Motherfucking Walking Dead coming on tonight. If you haven't seen last week's episode, it was a heart pounder. I talked about it a little bit on the last episode of the podcast, Mrs. B. Rob. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because, you know, I talk about spoilers, but with The Walking Dead, I like to be spoiler free. So, also this Sunday, it's going to be a pay-per-view, WWE Fastlane, emanating out of Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm looking forward to that tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and give you some of my predictions for tonight's event. Kicking off the pre-show, we got United States Champion Kalisto will be facing off against Alberto Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So, best of 3. Whoever can get the most pinfalls out of 3 is the winner. Personally, I am going with Kalisto for the win. Remarkable talent. And I believe, you know, if WWE was smart, they put some momentum behind him and make some money off this guy. He could be bigger than Rey Mysterio if marketed properly. Alberto Del Rio, I like him, but I don't like what they do with him. Since he's been gone, like doing Lucha Underground and AAA and everything like that, it's becoming a big deal. And I like some of the work that I've seen him do in other promotions. But since he came back here, it looked like physique-wise, he's changed. Might be juicing. I don't know. But that motherfucker big as shit. But they just don't do nothing with him. It's just weird. What else we got going on? We got Ryback, The Big Show, and Kane versus the Wyatt family. It's pretty much kind of like the old guard versus the new guard and anything. And if it was me and it was up to me, I would have the Wyatt to go over. Because, I mean, you're establishing this young group as a dominant force in your product. As in, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you got Kane and The Big Show, who's more than likely on the way out. I mean, they're old as fuck. They need to go sit down somewhere. And then you got Ryback, who, I mean, I say he had potential to be something major. He might still have it, but, I mean, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. So, I mean, I would give this victory to the Wyatts. And what else we got? We got AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. The first 2 matches were pretty good. The first one, you know, filling out process and everything. You know, they had a couple of stumbles and bumbles and whatnot. The second go around, they had, it was pretty good. And I have no doubt, since, you know, they had a couple matches together, that this third match is going to be freaking awesome. And I'm going to give it to AJ Styles. We also have the Divas Championship up for grabs. It'll be Charlotte, the current champion, against Brie Bella. I don't know. I'm going with popular consensus and everything. Everybody's talking about, since, you know, Daniel Bryan's retired and everything, and Brie has already expressed that she won't be with the company too much longer. That they probably put the strap on her. They probably let Brie win and hold it for a little while and then get it taken off of her. Or not, which I'm fine with either way. I don't think they should. If they trying to do anything, you know, with this whole resurgence of the Divas division, as they say, with all this new talent that they got, they would be better served to keep it on Charlotte and then continue with what looks like to be a feud between Sasha Banks and maybe even Becky Lynch. Maybe that will spawn off into a triple threat or something like that, which I would be okay with. All three of these competitors work well together, as we've seen in NXT and things like that. And what else we got? We got the Intercontinental title up for grabs. We got Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens is going to win. There's nothing else I got to say about that. I believe Dolph Ziggler is an incredible performer. He can get a good match in with anyone, but I think that's the only reason he's there in this position, to put on a good match and make Kevin Owens look good, which isn't hard to do because, I mean, he makes everything look good. It's motherfucking Kevin Owens. And then we have Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Naomi and Tamina. I love Naomi. I love Sasha Banks. I wish they could have kind of got into their own program, and I believe this is pretty much going to be a one-off to advance Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch into another program further down the road. Maybe that triple threat that I was talking about with Charlotte. But Naomi, very talented, very much underutilized. And I think, you know, if, once again, marketed right, she could be a big thing other than her derriere being the big thing. Big old ass. And what else we got? Finally, we got the main event, triple threat match for a chance at facing Triple H at WrestleMania 32. And it is Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. And the way that everything's been playing out on TV and the way everything has been set up, you would think Dean Ambrose is going to win. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. The pay-per-view tonight is going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. So, you know, it has all the makings for Dean Ambrose to walk out of there number one contender for the title. But, you know, rumors, speculation saying that the Wyatts probably have some interference with Brock Lesnar taking him out of the match, and Roman will probably go over on Dean, which I don't think is a good idea, because anytime you have Roman Reigns in there with somebody, depending on who it is, Roman Reigns is going to get booed, especially having Dean Ambrose in there in his hometown. Pretty much he's going to get booed. As soon as his music hits, he's going to get booed, and anything other than Dean Ambrose tonight is going to be a bad for Roman Reigns. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much it with the pay-per-view and everything. Once again, lifelong wrestling fan. I'm excited to watch tonight. I mean, I'm kind of conflicted because, I mean, we got The Walking Dead coming on tonight, and we got the freaking pay-per-view coming on tonight, which I love both, but I love wrestling a little bit more than The Walking Dead. And, you know, I mean, I'm recording it on my DVR and everything, so I'm not going to miss it. And then now the only thing I got to just, you know, try to duck and dodge tomorrow is motherfuckers talking about The Walking Dead at work. But I'll probably wind up watching it tonight since we're in the central time frame or whatever. The pay-per-view will go off about 10 o'clock. That means I'd probably just take an hour after to go ahead and watch The Walking Dead, because I don't go to sleep till probably about 11 on a weekday anyway. So win-win. Get to watch them both. I'm just not going to be watching it live like I would normally do. So, I mean, yay me. I got some entertainments and things tonight. Since I've been doing this podcast, whatever, I've started a freaking Twitter account for it, and I've been getting a lot of followers from other podcasts, which is cool and very much appreciated. And also, I appreciate each and every one of you that are listening to the show, sharing on Twitter, liking on Facebook, which you can like on Facebook at Random Ramblings Robcast if you type it into your daggone URL browser, or you can just go on Facebook, simply type in the name of the show, Random Ramblings with Rob, and it'll pop up in your Facebook search, and booyah, hit the like button. Hey, and it's open community. We have a community, people listening. So go ahead, feel free to post some photos, share your comments, your thoughts, or whatever. You know, anything that we can do to improve the show, or I can do to improve the show. Hey, throw some suggestions out there. Shit, I don't give a... This is everybody's podcast, and I'll talk to just about anybody. So if you want to get on the podcast, you want to plug your product, you want to plug a show, you just want to plug you just want to talk to me, you just want to talk on the internet, hit me up. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on the Facebook page. I got an email address. You can just shoot me some info, and we can schedule something, get it recorded, put it out there for the world to hear. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. I tried to reach out to somebody on Twitter, but he said he's funnier on Twitter than he is in person or in real life or whatever. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. You're the same person in real life than you would be online. I don't know, because that would explain internet thugs. You know, they talk all kind of bullshit online, but you get them in person, and then they're like, "Oh no, that's not me. I know. I'm so scared." So I mean, I guess, you know, and I kind of feel what he's saying, because then, you know, you online and nobody really know you per se. So I mean, you more free, you're more prone to say things that you wouldn't normally say in person when you're around a group of people. So I can kind of understand that. And if you want to look up what this person that I'm talking about is saying, you can hit him up on Twitter at, I'm going to have to pull it up now. Yeah, you can look at this person up on Twitter at cbanks420 LOL. That's cbanks420 LOL. This motherfucker posts some off the wall shit. I be scrolling. I forget I follow him sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I be scrolling through my goddamn timeline and shit, and damn, just all kind of whacked out shit just be popping up picture wise, and some of the shit he be saying, you know. So I mean, it's just random, pretty much like this show is. Random ramblings. So look him up. That's cbanks420 LOL on Twitter. Speaking of other random Twitter shit, who else? I'm looking at my Twitter feed now. Got another dude that be posting all kind of crazy whacked out shit. His name is Corn Dog, and you can follow him at QU0RN_D0G. You know, that should tell you in his Twitter name right there how the hell he spelled it. He got zeros and shit in there. So it's Corn Dog. So that's QU0RN_D0G. And he just be between him and C Banks. I think C Banks got him beat as far as the crazy random shit that he be posting on Twitter. And I don't understand why I even follow him or whatever, but at the same time, that says a lot about me. But you know, it's just, Twitter is a crazy animal in its own right. It's not on par with Tumblr, but Tumblr is just a porn service anyway. So, but yeah. And then I'm looking at my personal Twitter account here. I'm up to 296 followers, and every day I get people, you know, to follow or whatever. I get like real close to 300. And then I get knocked back down to like 295 or whatever. It's just some people that'll follow me and then damn unfollow me. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I would like to have more followers. And honestly, you know, I don't even know why. I mean, I like the aspect of where, like, if you go to my Twitter feed, majority of the things that you'll see is me talking about wrestling. Because, you know, that's one of the things that I love. So I'll have a whole bunch of stuff about wrestling, retweets of wrestling, and shit like that. I mean, I don't even really tweet per se. I just retweet everybody else shit. So I guess that's why I follow as many people as I do. So I have some content to generate on my Twitter feed. I just retweet everybody else shit. But, and as I mentioned before, as far as Twitter goes, I have some other people that follow me on the show's Twitter. And I know I might have talked about it a couple times throughout the course of this podcast, but I don't think I ever even threw it out there yet. You can follow the show at RRR_podcast. That's 3 R's _ podcast. And you can see everybody that follow me is a whole bunch of different podcasts, from whom I would like to mention right now. So one of the new ones that follow me this week is the Big Gold Belt podcast. They talk about wrestling, and there you go. I mean, I'm not bearing the lead there to talk about wrestling, which I haven't listened to. I don't think any of these yet, except for no, these are some new ones that just followed the show, so I haven't listened to these yet. But if you like wrestling, Big Gold Belt podcast. Another new one that followed me is the Bootleg Bootleg podcast. Now, when I first initially saw this podcast, I didn't read the description or anything. As soon as I seen bootleg, I automatically thought that it was talking about like moonshine and liquor and all kind of shit like that, because I'm a quasi-alcoholic and shit. But they talk about old bootleg recordings, B-sides, and other rare albums and artists and everything. So it's a music podcast. So if you're into those rare classics, go ahead and hit up the Bootleg Bootleg podcast. The Nonsense Parade. They're based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and they talk about everything. I mean, there's no topic too taboo. They talk about all that shit. So if you're looking for a variety show that talks about a whole bunch of topics, go ahead and hit up the Nonsense Parade podcast. In the world of movies and film, we got the Epic Film Guys. They talk about movies and TV shows and all that stuff. So if you're looking for some critics, some movie reviewers, hit up Epic Film Guys. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I'm interested to see what they talk about. They're only 2 episodes in. It's the 8-Bit Jobbers. What they do is they talk about current and classic wrestling video games. So just about every wrestling video game that has come to a console or arcade or everything, I've played it. Not every last one of them, but I say probably about 96% of all wrestling games I have played. And what they do is they talk about all wrestling video games. So I'm kind of interested in what they're talking about, so I'm going to listen to that pretty soon. Next, we have the Two Bricks podcast. 2 guys from Jersey talking about hip-hop and classic old-school rap. And sometimes they talk about movies and other things. So if you're into hip-hop and classic rap, hit up the Two Bricks podcast. And scrolling down the list, we got Nerd Girls, Decoding Pop Culture. Guess what they talk about? Motherfucking pop culture. So, booyah. You like the pop cultures and everything? Look up Nerd Girls, Decoding Pop Culture. And we have It's a Monkey podcast. I didn't know what to think about that when I seen the title, but it's a technology podcast. They talk about tech economy, news in the tech world, and they do interviews. So if you're into technology, like myself, you want to go ahead and check out this podcast. And the last one that I got this week is the Blanket Bros podcast, where they discuss everything movies, film, theater, and things of that nature. So if you're into if you want to look into a film podcast there, you got Blanket Bros. So that's all the new followers that I have this week. And whenever I do my next recording, if I have any followers between now and then, I'll be sure to give them a shout out as well, because we're all podcasters. We have to support each other, even if nobody else does. So support your art, support your community, and pass the word. Also, I want to go ahead and shout out my official sponsor. That's DD's Vinyl Designs. You can hit her up on Facebook at DD's Vinyl Designs. That's 2 D's, the word vinyl, and designs. She makes anything from t-shirts, cups, and other home decor items that you may like or require for your home or your personal being. And like I said, this is going to be relatively short. I didn't have anybody to jibber jabber with or bounce any ideas off of or anything like that. So, yeah. I made all my shout outs, so I got that on my checklist. And I like pie, so that's a thing. And another reason that I like doing this podcast, all the people that I have given a shout out to, DD's Vinyl Designs, the Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast, all the information to where you can access these shows, they will be in the show description. So wherever you download the show from, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, Podbean, Overcast, wherever it is, that's where my show will be. Whenever you click on today's episode, or whatever episode that I've given anybody a shout out on, all the information is there. So you don't have to keep rewinding the podcast back trying to figure out what I said, because I know I kind of mumble sometimes and I blah, 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 blah. So all the information is there for you. And that's one I said it last episode. That's one of the little things, the small things that I like to do when I'm with this podcast. I like putting the information out there for everybody to access it. So if I reference anything on here that I think has any value to it, I want to put it in show comments so everybody can just reference it. It's easy. They got links in there, Twitter account handles, and all that stuff. So once again, like I said, this is everyone's show, not just my show. So get active. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Facebook. Post some stuff. Once again, like I said, I appreciate everyone that is listening, and I hope that the community continues to grow. And man, give me some feedback. Talk to me, people. I'm talking to you. Why can't you talk to me? I feel kind of lonely out here in the world. So that's it for, man, I'm done. That's it for this week of the Random Ramblings with Rob podcast, and I'll see you next time.